they're not far from Coltsville. Maybe we can find some shelter there.
Shelter?
What do you mean, Hoppy?
Look at that storm ahead of us. Well, this looks like a good place for us to stop.
But that's a church.
Well, what about it? It's not a bad place to spend a little time once in a while. Well, let's get the food and blankets off. We'll go inside and eat and bed down for the night.
You're right, Hoppy. We're due for a storm.
Sure sounds like it.
Gee, this looks like a ghost church.
It is. So's the town it belongs to. I've never been here before, but I remember hearing about how everybody moved away from here.
Yeah, and I'd just as soon go with them. This place gives me the creeps. What was that?
Oh, probably just a shutter banging in the wind. Kind of drafty in here. Let's see what's in here. Oh, this looks better.
Smells kind of musty.
Oh, this'll do fine, California, and so will a little food.
Coming right up, Hoppy.
I'm sure glad we decided to stop here. So nice and quiet. Not a thing to disturb a good night's sleep.
I ain't so sure of that. I get a feeling in my bones that's mighty disturbing.
Oh, that's just your rheumatism. When I put my head on those saddlebags, not even the prettiest gal in the world could make me open my eyes.
I was a gambling man. I wouldn't make any bets on that, would you?
Me neither.
Don't take the coffee.
No.
I'm going to get this beautiful bed figured right now. What's going on? We hadn't been asleep a half an hour when we were awakened by the music of an organ. Beautiful music. Oh, I'm sorry if we frightened you.
You did startle me. There's seldom anyone here.
Well, that's what we thought, so we came in here to spend the night out of the storm. I'm Hopalong Cassidy, and these are my two friends, California Carlson and Lucky Jenkins.
Glad to know you, ma'am.
Me too. I was thinking maybe it might be some angel out here playing.
And you were pretty nearly right.
I'm Susan Crowell, and this is my mother.
How do you do?
Susan's father was the pastor here, and he's buried in the churchyard. We come here each morning and evening to give simple prayer.
I understand, Mrs. Crow, and I'm sorry we were here to interrupt you. Did you say you and your daughter live near here?
Yes.
Oh, I thought this place was deserted.
It is, with the exception of Deacon Black and ourselves.
Deacon Black?
Oh, Mr. Black's not a real deacon. We just call him that because, well, he's a fine man who'll help Father with his work at church. When Father was killed, Mr. Black just decided to stay on, helping any way he could.
I see. Tell me, Mrs. Crow, what happened to the people here? Why did they abandon their homes?
Right. I don't like to talk about it. Bad luck has always come to those who have.
Well, I'll talk about it. All began about 4 months ago. It was a nice enough little town then, and all of a sudden a shadow fell over it.
What do you mean, Miss Crowell?
Well, people were afraid because there were shootings and strange disappearances. Got so no one knew who would be next, and they either kept their doors locked or started moving away.
Well, there must have been someone they suspected.
No, not a soul. That was the awful part of it. My own father was one of those who killed without warning, but we didn't move away like all the others.
Well, I've seen a lot of trouble, but never without reason like this.
Had the same feeling ever since we've been here. This place ain't healthy for man or beast.
And if we just had a little more time, we'd stay around and see what makes it so unhealthy.
Oh, no, you mustn't do that. It's bound to cause more trouble. We ask only for peace and the privilege of coming to this little church.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Crowell. We have to leave the first thing in the morning, and you can be sure that we all hope you have nothing but peace.
Thank you. Come, Susan. We better go now.
It's a pretty bad night. I'll get my poncho and go with you.
Well, if you wish. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Sort of wish I was going too. It's the end of the world.
Well, it's not the end of the world, but it could have been the end of Miss Susan.
What do you mean?
Well, if she'd been sitting at that organ, she'd have been killed when that thing came down.
Oh, what a narrow escape.
See that they get home safely, Lucky.
I will.
By golly, Hoppy, that could have been a terrible accident.
You got it wrong, California. It'd have been murder.
But, murder?
Sure, that beam wasn't rotted or cracked. It's been sawed almost in two, and it was done very recently.
Then whoever done it,
Wanted to kill that girl because she's the only one that ever sits there.
I'll split him like a rack of spare ribs. I'll tear him limb from limb. Say, how did he know that someone would be sitting there when that thing fell?
I don't know. He must have figured on the vibration of that organ to break this thing loose. But in this case, that clap of thunder did it. Fortunately, she wasn't sitting there. I'd like to get to the bottom of this thing. A deserted town, a lot of killings, and nobody around but two women and a deacon.
You know something, Hoppy? There's somebody else around here.
You know something else? Sometimes your deductions are phenomenal.
I'm a pretty smart fella.
Whoever was at the bottom of the whole mystery must still be in the neighborhood. I looked around trying to find some clue. Morning might bring some answers. And morning did. It sounded like the whole place was falling apart.
What's the idea of starting on that wall? What's going to hold the roof up?
You said we was going to tear the joint down, didn't you?
Sure, but you start from the top, not the bottom, generally. All right, get up on that roof.
Hello, boys.
Who are you?
The name's Cassidy. I don't think I got yours.
Riker. What are you doing here?
Well, it was storming last night, if you remember, and we came in here for shelter. I see the sun's shining out now. Must be a nice day outside.
It is. So why don't you and your boys get out there and enjoy it while you can?
Listen, mister, my friends and I have been enjoying good health for a long time. We expect to keep right on doing it. Now, what's your business here?
Well, I'll tell you. It's a good thing you were here last night.
How's that?
Because this church ain't going to be here tonight. We're tearing it down.
Mr. Cassidy, did I hear right when this man said he was going to tear our church down?
You heard right, miss. Since when has it been your church?
I think the young lady means that she and her mother come here to worship, and the church belongs to whoever uses it.
Look, Hoppy, why are you arguing with this man? Let's throw him out of here and not worry Miss Susan anymore.
Son, you got more nerve than you got brains. You're in a place where they used to give them burial services, and that's what you're going to get if you don't shut up.
I think we've done enough arguing. Unless you've got the legal right to tear this place down, you're not touching a stick of it.
You ain't the law around here. I got as much right to tear it down as you got to sleep in it. And I got the men to back me up. Now get this straight. You're getting out and I'm staying here.
Gentlemen.
Oh, Mr. Black, I'm so glad you've come. There's trouble here.
Yes, I gathered that from the doorway. Have patience and faith, child. I'll do what I can. I don't know you men, but you've chosen a place of peace to make trouble. May I ask what the difficulty is?
Mr. Deacon, I'd like to baptize that critter with a little hot lead.
That's enough, California. Mr. Black, Miss Susan has told us about you, and we're glad you came.
Well, in that case, I think you should put your gun away.
Mr. Black, I can't understand why anyone would want to tear this church down without reason.
Tear it down? Well, are you thinking of doing such a thing?
No, I am. And you and all your gospel can't stop me.
Who owns this church?
I don't know. Since Coltsville has become a deserted town, it'd be hard to say. I've stayed on here with the hope that Someday we'd have a congregation of good people back on these benches. See it go now, shatter what little we have left. May I ask why you want to destroy this building?
Sure, I found out that nobody owned the place, and we need finished lumber. I'm building a mining camp a little way up the trail.
Whoever heard of such a thing? Somebody has got to stop him.
We'll do what we can, won't we, Hoppy?
Well, I think that's up to Mr. Black.
Well, when are you leaving? I got work to do.
As soon as I'm sure you're a lot of miles from here. You're not tearing this building down so long as these people want it to stand.
So that's it. You're staying.
That's right.
All right, but I'll be seeing you soon again.
It's a big country.
That's what I've heard.
If you live long enough to get around to seeing it.
All right, come on.
Well, we might as well get out of here.
Hoppy, if you don't mind, I'd like to stay on for a while. Those men might come back if they think we've all gone, and, well, at least they won't have their own way of it.
All right, Lucky, and if anything comes up, you can get word to me at the ranch.
As long as one of your men's staying, I'll be leaving too. Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye, sir.
And bless you, Susan.
Goodbye, Mr. Cassidy.
Goodbye, Susan. California, will you get our horses? Lucky, come and help me with the gear.
Oh, ma'am. Glad to have met you. I'm glad to be leaving.
You all right, California? Sure you're all right?
I don't know, Hoppy. How do I know?
Oh, they didn't get you.
They must have been waiting for us to come out. What if they got Mr. Black?
I don't know. I'll find out. Your mother get in the back.
See Mr. Black?
No, but I see plenty of others. Looks like they're surrounding the place.
Doesn't make sense. First they want us to leave, and now they're shooting so we can't get out.
Makes sense if you meet up with one of them bullets. Then you're out for good.
One thing's certain, so long as they keep us in, we can keep them out. Lucky, you go back with the women and watch those windows. We'll take care of this up here.
Where do you want us? Right over here.
Take your mother over by the organ.
Lucky, listen, I don't know what to...
Susan, get down.
I'm worried enough about you already.
Why, what do you mean?
Well, maybe I shouldn't tell you, but last night someone tried to kill you.
Kill me? Why? I don't understand.
Hoppy says that beam was deliberately sawed so that it would snap at the least vibration and fall on the organ bench where you were sitting.
The odds were getting a little more even. What's the idea?
Just knock off one of them muskrats. That's what I call ringing the bell.
Now, one of these days, I'm going to wring your neck, but I guess that's a long ways off.
I hope so.
They're concentrating on the front of the building. I'm going out through that back room.
Wherever you're going, good luck.
Thanks. I'll be back sometime tonight.
We'll take care of things here.
Fine. If you need any extra ammunition, it's in my saddlebag. So long.
He's leaving.
Yeah, come on.
I knew that Lucky in California could hold them off for the time being. I was going to try to get through to the local sheriff. My search for the law led me to the office of the county clerk.
Hey, clerk!
I'd been promised help. I had learned a mighty important thing about the church property.
Who is it?
Me, Black.
Black. Hi, Deacon.
Good evening. Good evening.
How'd you get here all in one piece?
Well, I went to the camp of those men and demanded that they let me through their lines. It's my daily habit to visit here, and no one shall stop me.
Mighty brave of you.
Oh, Mr. Black. Mr. Black,
Good evening, child.
so glad you're here. I wish you'd talk to Mother. She needs your help.
Of course, Susan. I'll be glad to.
Lucky, you know something?
Yes, since I met you yesterday.
Little country church is as wonderful as a great cathedral because it stands for the same things.
Like marriage?
Yes. My mother and father were married here. Perhaps I should be too.
You know, this is the place I'd like to be married.
I've always heard that you kissed the bride after the ceremony. A fine army I have. One has his eyes wide open with love, and the other has his eyes closed with sleep. Hey!
Hiya, Hoppy. I was just closing my eyes to make believe you was his.
Sure.
Ain't a thing happened since you left.
Except one shot that I know of.
Yeah?
But that one didn't do any harm.
This is a pleasant surprise. I saw you were missing when I arrived tonight, but I made no inquiry because I thought you'd been...
Well, seeing you here is just as much of a surprise. How did you make it?
As I told him, I went to the camp of those men and demanded that they let me through. Then they asked me to bring you a message.
Well, the only message I want from them is that they'll clear out of here.
You mean we have a chance?
We can get out?
Well, it's possible. I've learned a few things that might save the church and a lot of killings. I went to the county clerk in Fenwell, and among other things, I found that this church belongs to the town of Coltsville. It can't be bought and it can't be sold so long as it stands. To be honest, I don't know why anyone wants the place. Staying here proves nothing but that death is convenient to a church graveyard. You think you can get back to those men safely?
Why, yes.
Tell them that we're leaving this morning, but we're coming back. That you don't tell them. I don't want you to be too confident that I have enough information to get to the bottom of this. I still don't know what it's all about, but I've got a hunch who's behind it.
Well, may I ask what you know?
It's very little, and what I do know is all based on suspicion. But sometimes that can be as strong as the rope around a man's neck.
My friend, gratitude has no depths. All I can say is, I'll deliver your message, and I appreciate from the bottom of my heart what you've told me. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Mr. Black, you're leaving? Please take me with you.
You'd better stay here with Mr. Cassidy, my dear. Susan, take care of your mother.
But
Please, Mrs. Crown.
Now get this straight. This is going to be the payoff. When we go in there, I want each one of you to make your bullets count. We're going to rush the place, and we're not coming out till it's cleaned up.
What about the women?
Ain't your fault if they get in the way.
I don't like it.
You'll do what you're told. I'm giving the orders around here.
What did you just say, Riker?
Oh, nothing, boss. I didn't know you were back. I was just telling the boys what we were going to do.
You're going to do nothing until I tell you to. Remember? No further shooting.
Hold it, Lucky.
The man's wanted to see what he's up to.
This place is getting busier than a barn at a cattle auction.
California, let him in.
Me let him?
Come on, open the door.
I sure hope you're an enemy, because I hate to kill a friend.
Friend, help me.
Let him in. Why did you come here?
I have something to tell you.
Well, go on. Put him on that bench and do what you can for him.
Get his feet. Hold it, Lucky. Here, son, drink this. Hoppy, this man's pretty bad hurt.
Do what you can for him.
Uh-oh. Keep back. What you doing, Hoppy?
But who was that?
It's Mr. Black.
The deacon.
I can't believe it.
Hoppy, does that smell like oil?
It is oil, Californian.
It's oil, all right. I met Riker one night, and he found out I was an oil man, and he forced me to his house with a gun. Riker was working for a man who had found oil, but didn't know how to get it out. That was going to be my job.
That's why he killed or scared everyone until he left town so he could take over.
How did you know all this?
I accidentally ran across a Bible up there that had a name inscribed in it. And through that, I found out who was buying all this property. It was a woman.
I knew it all the time.
Oh, no, it wasn't your mother, Susan. It was a woman by the name of Mary Brewster. That's the name I found in the Bible. She was his sister.
Hoppy, we forgot about the others.
No, I didn't, and neither did Tom, the county clerk. Look out there. Well, we better get our gear together. California, get him bandaged up. Oh, Mrs. Crowell, I'm sorry this has been such a trying ordeal, but at least you have your church.
Thank you.
You'll find a couple of them in the church. Better take care of them, too. Thanks for everything, Tom.
That's all right, Hoppy. It's sure a nice way to start out a day, you know, holding up a lot of gophers. Say, they're an ugly-looking bunch, ain't they? What are they after, Hoppy?
Oil. Ground under the old church is full of it. Well, you might as well take them in, Tom. Maybe they can find some oil under the old jailhouse.
We'll sure give them a lot of time to try it. Well, now that the shooting's over, I suppose you'll be heading for home, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.